Are you ready for a flavor explosion? Lemon zest and red Thai chilies are just a couple of the flavors in my fantastic marinade. This exciting dish is not your mom's roast chicken. I'm Chef Michael Williams, and that's what we're cooking on the coast. Welcome to the kitchen. For all you mothers out there, thanks for everything you've done for us. But no offense, Mom, today we make not your mom's roast chicken. It's whole spice and herb roast chicken, squash and mushroom maca coconut gravy. Let's get to it. We're gonna start off by preparing a beautiful medley, a bed, if you will, of vegetables. We're gonna get this beautiful bed of vegetables laid out in our pan that we're gonna roast the chicken in. The chicken's gonna sit on top of it. It's gonna be epic. We're gonna start off by peeling our squash and carrots. So let's get right into it. I gotta grab my trusty knife here. And I'm gonna cut the top and the bottom off of this butternut squash. So with your good, nice, sharp vegetable peeler, go ahead and peel this up. Butternut squash is probably one of my favorite. Not only is it the easiest to work with, but fantastic flavor. And hey, it's here's actually a good trick for you. You can lay it down on the cutting board and get nice peels right from top to bottom. Let's go ahead and get ourselves some compost going here, and then I'll show you how we're gonna process that squash. We're gonna cut it in half like so. Need to scoop out all of those seeds. So just do that with a spoon. Just like so. And then we'll get to cutting. So what we're gonna do here is just buck this up into two parts, because this is very different than this, right? So separate it right there. I'm gonna go ahead and just cut this into wedges like so. And then this guy we'll cut into chunks by cutting into our strips like that, line it up, and then that is ready to hit the pan. We want the vegetables to have nice big chunks because they're going to be roasting in the oven along with the chicken, and we don't want them to cook too fast and burn, right? Okay, let's go ahead onto our onion here. Same idea by cutting off the top and the bottom to start. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it into wedges. So I'll start by cutting it in half. And then we're just gonna take this and cut it like so. And gotta make that noise while you're doing it. Really helps things. And then these wedges I'm just gonna go ahead and place right in here. You can also add parsnips in there, you know, change it up. There's lots of different veggies we can use. Think longer cook times though, so different kinds of squash are an option. So that is our bed of veggies. That's ready to go. Before we get to our chicken though, we need to make a delicious concoction here. So I've got my blender jar here, got some basil, and we're gonna choose between jalapeno or hot Thai chili, red Thai chili peppers. I'm gonna go with the Thai chilies, but if you wanna mellow it out, go ahead with the jalapenos. Couple of those, some basil. We'll get off the stem bits. We'll go ahead and cut the seeds and the veins out of these hot Thai chilies. So do that by cutting the tops off. And anytime you're working with hot peppers, do exercise caution. You know, you want to work with your peppers and make sure you wash your hands right away, clean up your cutting board. Otherwise, you might accidentally forget and then touch your eye, and you don't want to do that, believe me. So by scooping out those seeds, we're mellowing out the heat a little bit, for sure. It's okay if some of them get in there, but I want to get most of them out. Okay, next up, we're going to grab some lemon. Just the rind, though. I want to get the rind of that lemon. So I'm going to use my peeler once again and get some good peels of that rind. I'm going to take the whole thing. And taking care not to go too deep here. So it's really important that you don't get really deep into the white, because that's pretty bitter. A couple more ingredients. We need a few cloves of garlic. Wow, did you see that? That doesn't normally happen. That garlic did not want to go into this bowl. knows what's going to happen in there. It knows there's a blade, knows it's going to get chopped. So it made a run for it, and it succeeded. We'll get a good handful of garlic cloves in there. And you know, the brunt of the work is almost done, folks. We've just got to process our chicken after this, and this recipe's already well on its way. So let's call that good. You can always bump up your garlic intake. I'm big on garlic, as you well know. Chinese 5-spice. It's a shortcut to all kinds of wonderful flavors. So we're gonna go ahead and pour in a liberal dose of that Chinese 5-spice. There's no salt in the spices, so a liberal handful of some local sea salt, and then a good shot of extra virgin olive oil. We'll bust that up, and then grab our chicken. So, check it out. Watch this come together. I want to leave it coarse. I don't want to puree this too fine. Make sure there's no massive chunks. Otherwise, that's it. Okay, so really quickly, I'm just going to grab the chicken from the fridge. I want to show you a trick here, folks. Now, you can always just go ahead and roast that chicken whole, right? But I want to show you a lovely, lovely method that I love doing. It makes the chicken cook a little bit quicker, and presentation-wise turns out beautifully. So we're going to take our whole chicken here. We're going to expose the back side. That's the backbone right there. And I'm going to cut on either side of that backbone. Do exercise caution. It's a little bit of a, tricky knife skill. What you can do here actually is kind of lay it out now that we've split it in half, and then remove that backbone. We'll save that, make chicken broth another day. Otherwise, we're going to get a nice even roast on our chicken here because we've split it open like this. Watch how this works. You ready for this? Let's get a good look. We're going to pour a liberal amount of our beautiful concoction here. The chilies, the basil, the salt, the spices, the garlic, okay? And that's gonna get plunked right down on top of our bed of vegetables. And then we're gonna coat the other side. How are we looking? Fantastic. I'll answer for you. Fantastic. Okay, so this is now ready to hit the oven. We're gonna roast until the chicken is cooked through. We'll be back later in the show to pull together not your mom's roast chicken, but before that, it's time to hit the road. See you after the break.
Cookin' on the Road is brought to you by Cold Star Solutions, an integral part of Vancouver Island's grocery supply chain for 20 years.
All right, so we're here at Country Grocer with Shelley, the nutrition manager, Country Grocer Royal Oak. And Shelley, as you know, I'm all about loading in the vegetables, starting with a good, healthy diet first. But it looks like you've got some good little tweaks to help keep us rolling. So tell us about what you like to share.
Yeah, absolutely. So today I have some moringa, digestive enzymes, and digestive bitters.
Yeah.
So that's going to help support times of stress, digestion, make sure we're absorbing those foods.
Right. Now the moringa, I've actually been using that. I love that stuff. It's fantastic. Mixing it into smoothies. How do you use the moringa?
Yeah, smoothies definitely. I think that's my top way to go, just in the morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just going to help with inflammation, reducing that, which stress can create.
Yeah.
It's a really good whole food multivitamin.
So moringa leaf is like some kind of plant that grows somewhere, and that's just the powdered version of it?
Absolutely, yeah. So it is a plant, and you do want just the leaf, and so you can get it in capsule,
okay.
I believe liquid, and then yeah, powder is just easier to work with, I find.
Yeah, for sure. So digestive enzyme, what's that about?
Yeah, so when we're stressed, when we're in that fight or flight sympathetic state, our body isn't able to digest our foods as efficiently.
Okay.
So if we can be as mindful as we can when we're prepping our food, smelling it, being with it, that helps initiate our digestive juices and our own enzymes.
I love that.
But when we do need the support, we've got enzymes here, so you can take that before you eat or with a meal or after, and it's just going to help give your body the enzymes to break down all those foods. And then another option is I have digestive bitters here.
Yeah.
So what I like about these is rather than giving the body enzymes, you're helping it produce its own.
So it's the bitter flavor that's stimulating the digestion?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that kind
right.
of it?
Yeah, very
Cool.
very good to balance like the sours, sweet and sour, bitter,
Yeah.
and all of that.
Okay,
Yeah.
those are
Yeah.
awesome tips there on, you know, some supplemental ways of taking care of ourselves, but you got some beautiful food laid out here as well, including my favorite vegetable ever. Gotta love beets.
Excellent. Yeah. When it comes to supporting our body, red foods are really good for the circulation.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, in times of stress, we can get vasoconstriction and just headaches or just kind of influencing the heartbeat.
Yeah.
So what these are going to do is provide polyphenols, antioxidants that are going to support the blood.
Yeah.
And your favorite beets, they have nitrogen in them that really help get the blood going and help with energy.
Yeah.
Nitric oxide specifically.
Right.
Yeah, watermelon I really like. It's full of electrolytes, so we're in, you know, those hot days. You
Yeah.
want to get those electrolytes as
Okay.
well. So we're loaded with antioxidants here, so we're going to support all of our cellular recovery.
Yeah.
And just really improve the cardiovascular system during times of stress.
Fantastic. So we've got lots of great takeaways here. I'm here for maca powder, so I'm going to go hit the nutrition aisle and grab some maca powder. I love that stuff. I incorporate it in my cooking all the time.
Yeah, so maca is really good for energy.
Yeah.
And it's going to help with hormones as well, naturally balancing the hormones
Yeah.
to where the individual needs them to be. So again, that's, you know, it can help to a degree with your stress and just your overall function.
Fantastic. All right. Thanks so much, Shelley. This has been great.
Great. Thank you for having me. Yeah, this is fun.
Back into our kitchen. We're pulling together our whole spice and herb roast chicken, squash with mushroom maca coconut gravy. It's gonna be so delicious. It smells incredible in here. I'm gonna pull the chicken out of the oven right now because I know it's ready. I can smell it. I've checked it. It is on, folks. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Now, we're gonna make a mushroom maca coconut gravy to go with this, but you know what? I'll be honest. That's a whole step above and unnecessary. This recipe is fantastic, just right there. That's all you need. There's so much flavor and goodness happening right there. With that said here, I'm trying to provide you with as much content, as many tools for your chest as possible. So let's go ahead and make a maca coconut gravy while our chicken rests a little bit. That's a key point. We want to let it rest before we cut into it. Otherwise, we're going to lose some of those delicious juices. So in order to make this maca gravy, maca you ask, what's maca? Well, maca is a South American superfood. It's a cruciferous vegetable. This is the powder format of said vegetable, and it is known as the Peruvian ginseng. So it's a fantastic thing to just kind of have on hand and incorporate it into different dishes. I'm down with maca. Let's start off by getting some heat going in our pan though, because we need to fry up some shallots and garlic and mushrooms before we get there. So I've got some garlic peeled already here. I'm just gonna cut the ends off of that and leave the garlic in big chunks, as I often do, because I love my big chunks of roasted garlic. So nice big slices of garlic, along with some shallots. This is like a little miniature concentrated onion. I love shallots, fantastic addition to a sauce. And I'm gonna cut this in half so I can peel it really easily. And then I'll slice it up. Okay, so that is going to get sliced like so, just like our garlic. The pan's already hot, so I'm gonna add a splash of avocado oil, and then I'm gonna scoop up those garlic and shallot bits and get them right in the pan. Now let's go ahead and deal with our mushrooms here. So I've got some portobello mushrooms. I'm gonna just grab a spoon here and I'm gonna scoop these gills out. And then what we'll do is we'll slice this up and add it to the pan as well. So I'm gonna start by cutting it in half, okay? And then get that sliced. And we'll get that into the pan as well. So you can see already that garlic and shallot is roasting quickly, well caramelized, which is fine. Once we get those mushrooms into the pan, they've got some moisture in them, so it's gonna kind of slow down that browning process. The next step is gonna be our spices. So I've got some Chinese 5-spice here, some black pepper, which I'm gonna grind fresh, and just a little bit of rosemary. And grab a sprig of that, chop these up a little bit. They'll be ready to hit the pan soon. Okay, we'll crack our coconut milk. Let's go ahead and give this a stir, actually. I'm gonna grab my trusty spatula. My son made this in woodwork, my little boy, 12 years old. Isn't that beautiful? All right, so these are roasting nicely. Let's give it just a little splash of oil, just a little bit more. It's a touch dry. And you know, quite honestly, mushrooms often are. So don't go too crazy. It's easy to add too much oil. We want to, you know, use as little as possible. Fresh ground pepper. Nice and coarse. Oh yeah. Chinese 5-spice next up. Tying into the flavors that we have on our marinated chicken there. Get our maca powder ready, and we'll go ahead and get that coconut milk in. We're gonna put the whole can in. There we go. Oh yeah. We're gonna let that do its thing. Add our maca, and we're gonna let it simmer for a good 5 minutes, concentrate it down, and we'll be ready to hit the plate. There goes the maca. Let's get a pinch of salt in there too, actually. Nice and liberal. We'll give that a stir. And as I said, ready to hit the plate. Now, once we've concentrated that down, probably about 5 minutes or so. So there, we've given it about 5. It's concentrated down. Look how beautiful it's looking. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it right over here. Plunk that down. Oh yeah, just like that. Imagine plopping that down on the table, family style. So I'm gonna grab the chicken here and I'm gonna cut it on our board here. I'm gonna get this rosemary right here. I'm gonna get this rosemary into our sauce as well. We wanna get that softening up a little bit. Oh yeah. All right, so we're ready to get, you know, plating. So I'm gonna grab a good healthy dose of these vegetables here. You'll notice I tossed in these lemon wedges here. The lemon that I peeled, I threw them on before roasted. And you can see we've got all kinds of great juice in the bottom of this pan. So here's another trick for you. Watch this. I'm gonna go ahead and just pour that right into our sauce, boost up the flavor a little bit. Adjust the consistency. Oh, right on. We're gonna go ahead and cut a slice off of this chicken, get our dish sauced up a little bit. So I wanna start by breaking off the, oh yeah, look at that. Breaking off the leg and the thigh. And I'm just gonna cut some of that breast right off the bone, right through the bone. We'll put that down on our plate and then finish it off with a little bit of that coconut maca gravy, roasted mushroom. Look at this. It's a little touch of this just right over the middle. And I'm telling you, you serve this to anybody, they're gonna love you. They're gonna love you, I promise. There you have it, not your mom's roast chicken. Whole spice and herb roast chicken with mushroom, maca, coconut gravy. Still love you, Mom.
Pairings are brought to you by Liquor Plus. Discover the plus.
Mom always said what makes any dish better is the right beverage pairing. To help us out, we have Stephan from Ile Sauvage Brewing. Super excited to have you on. Thank you for coming down.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
I ran through what I was going to create for you.
Yeah.
Like kind of a little spicy lemon herb chicken roasted in the oven. The veggies kind of getting, you know, the nice drippings of the chicken. Yeah. And then I finished it off with a mushroom coconut rosemary sauce. So how did you decide to pair this up? There's lots going on here, I think.
Yeah,
right?
so normally when we're doing beer pairings with food, we tend to try and match the intensity.
Yep.
So you don't want to pair a really intense dish with like a light beer.
Okay.
You kind of want to match how intense the flavor of the beer is with the intensity of the dish.
Makes sense.
So this is kind of like a medium intensity dish, I would call it.
Okay.
It's not too spicy, and it's rich but not too rich.
Yep.
So one of the best pairings for this kind of medium intensity herbal dish is a saison.
Okay, is that it right there?
Yeah, this is our barrel aged saison that we keep doing new versions of as the beers age in oak. We pull from them, blend them, bottle them.
Right on.
And kind of each iteration of it is a slightly different batch.
You've already got my mouth watering. You
Yeah.
think I could have a taste?
Sure.
We'll see how this pairing comes together. So all of the extra carbonation happens in the bottle after you've done brewing this particular beer.
So this beer is pretty lively, and
Yeah.
that's because we do re-ferment it in the bottle.
Right.
So after we put it in the bottle, we actually dose it with yeast again.
Okay.
And then that dosing of yeast ferments any of the sugars that are left, and the bottle naturally traps the CO2. So this is our kind of homage to the old farmhouse beers of Belgium.
Right.
So on the nose, this one is nice and herbal and fruity.
It's only slightly sour.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's got a little bit of sourness. That's
Yep.
because we aged it extensively in oak.
See how you've done here. Put you to the test. Nice roasted vegetables, the mushroom.
Yeah, so there's a lot of nice kind of sweet and also some richness in the dish. A beer like this is slightly sour and also bone dry.
Yeah.
That helps to balance out a lot of that richness in the dish.
It's a perfect pairing. I love it. It's fantastic. So, Ile Sauvage, thank you so much for coming down. I'm really excited about you guys. You're kind of new kids on the block and doing some great stuff. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're excited to be here as well. We make a kind of a niche beer, like we're directed more to the niche market, but we're really excited about all the different kind of techniques we get to use, like calling back to ancient traditions, as well as like local fruit and local herbs and spices in our beer.
Right on. That's awesome, Stephan. Thank you. Check out our website where you'll find the recipe with all the details from today's show. I'm Michael Williams. Thanks for watching. And don't forget, dinner's better when we enjoy it together. Cheers.
Cheers.